Hi, welcome to the full stack development with Angular 8 and Spring Boot. Let's look at the development process. So the first step is to create a new component for category using Angular CLI. Obviously, our first step is to create a new component for book category using Angular CLI. And here is a command for that: ng generate component and the component name. So we're going to keep all the components in a dedicated folder, components. You can also use a shorthand command, which is ng, g for generate, c for component, and the component name. This is going to generate all the necessary files: the CSS file, HTML file, spec file, and the TS file. And it also updates the app.module.ts file. So the second step is to create a model class for category and define the fields. So again, we are going to make use of Angular CLI to generate the model class, ng generate class and the class name, and we're going to keep it in a dedicated folder, common. And this is going to generate the necessary files, the spec file and the TS file. So inside the book category, we are going to define a fields ID and a category name. So make sure to define a same field names which you have defined in the Java model class. So the third step is to modify the book service class to make the HTTP REST call. So within the book service, we are going to define the REST URL, and we're going to create a private field for that, category URL. And within the constructor, we are going to inject the HTTP client. And in the down, we're going to define a method get book categories, and this will return an observable of book category array. So within this method, we're going to make use of this HTTP client to make a HTTP get call to the REST URL, which is a category URL which we have defined in the above, and this will return a JSON response in the form of get response book category. So the get response book category is an interface which we have defined in the down, and this interface will extract the book category array from the JSON response. And we're going to make use of this map operator to convert the JSON response to a book category array. We have already discussed all about these in our feature 1, so make sure to check out the feature 1 videos. And the step 4 is to modify the book category component to get the category data. So inside the book category component, we are going to call a service method to get the category data. And inside the book category component, we are going to define an empty array book categories to hold the category data. And to the constructor, we are going to inject the book service. And we're going to define a method list book categories. Inside this method, we're going to make use of this book service to call a service method, and we're going to subscribe to that method. And to this subscribe method, we're going to pass a parameter, and that parameter will be an arrow function. So we're going to store that response or a data to the categories array which we have defined in the above. And the last step is to modify the book category view template to loop over the categories. So within our div tag, we have this anchor element, and we're going to make use of this Angular structural directive to loop over the book categories. And each time the loop runs, the category variable gets initialized, and it will hold the single category object. And we're going to make use of this Angular interpolation to pass the category ID to this router link. And also we're going to pass the category name as a text to the anchor element. Alright, we have 5 steps to complete this feature. In the next video, we're going to start developing this application step by step. So that is coming up in the next video. I will see you in the next video.